really appreciate this opportunity. 2 years ago, I came back to I came to Jakarta for the first time, and then this is the second time. And then I see the improvement in the students' works, and then I saw the beautiful the buildings, like Azhar said this morning. So I really appreciated this visit. So, well, thanks to David and thanks to UPH. Yeah. Okay, today, well, the let's say the focus could be something about the fabrication, and the fabrication, the term is quite interesting to me, because there are kind of two kind of the phase within that the term. First of all, when we talk about fabrication in architectural term, it's a very objective process where how do I say, all the process of design and then assembly and then building, all this process is all they're objectively defined, so that the people can really participate and everybody can talk about it. That's the connotation of fabrication. But at the same time, if you look at the term generally, the fabrication means something like a kind of a lie, which is they refine so much that it looks real. They're fabricating the story, for example. So always, this fabrication has the two kind of aspects. And then related to that, I came up with this presentation. Shall we? Okay, this the presentation is the titled Ambivalence, Honesty, and Deception. Basically, I question is architecture honest? That's my question. First, let me start from these two people. Okay, very important figures. Okay, first, Peter Zumthor, okay, on the left, and then the second, David Udama, okay, the Department of Data Architecture. Okay, I took power. And then it's because the David, when I talked to the David before making this presentation. He came up with this quotation. Okay? He quoted from Peter Zumthor. Okay? And let me read it. Okay? Among all the drawings produced by architects, my favorites are working drawings. Working drawings are detailed and objective, created for the craftsmen who are to give the imagined object a material form. They are free of associative manipulation. They do not try to convince and impress like project drawing. They seem to be saying this is exactly how it will look. So, in a sense, what Peter Zumthor is talking about is something about the honesty inherent in the working drawings, unlike the presentation drawings full of illusionistic factors such as light, shadow, shade, exaggerated materiality, and so forth. Okay, so this the working drawing always has certain honesty. He says at the last the sentence, this is exactly how it will look. Okay. Then the David question is this one: the art of joining hidden geometry, the friction of materials, the inner forces of bearing and holding, the human work, the inherent in made things. The technology will really bring back the total craftsmanship virtue into architect's practice. Okay, that's a sort of a question that in a sense, David's term, craftsmanship virtue, is directly related to this honesty. Sees, in a sense, they sees an alternative possibility in the stripping off, all the disguising scheme. and exposing the inner force and friction. Okay? In a sense, what he mentioned is to show honest reality inside. You know what I mean? So I take it, these, the two, how can I say, two quotations, as something like a seeking for the honesty. And then the honesty and the craftsmanship virtue, just mentioned, Peter Zinto and David Obama talked about, reminds me arts and crafts movement and its resistance against the mechanical production in the end of the 19th century. Okay? For example, this is a quotation from very creative. Okay. Quotation from John Ruskin. Okay. The important part is here. Here, okay. Here, that neither architect nor builder have done his best. Okay. It is a special characteristics of a modern work. Old works nearly have been hard work. Okay. It may be the hard work of children, of barbarians, of rustic, but it is always the utmost. In a sense, here, the John Ruskin criticized the lack of dedication, the dedication of a workman and the dedication of a craftsman in the modern the production method, okay, which is a mechanical reproduction. In the mechanical reproduction, actually the ornaments, in the building is all pressed. It's a pressed iron. So the craftsman doesn't have to carve the stone. It takes time and then it takes the labor. And then really, artists must dedicate themselves to this artwork. Do you know what I mean? But the way it comes to the factory-made, the ornament, it's just a pressing. Do you know what I mean? But this pressing is actually it mimics the resultant form of ornament. Do you know what I mean? So it's a kind of deceiving. Do you know what I mean? Deceiving, and then by cutting off. By cutting, shortcutting, by shortcutting the process that normally craftsmen go through, the factory-made, the objects always, they deceive the people. That actually John Ruskin was really angry at, and then also is against, Also, if you it reminds me, not John Ruskin, Augustus Pugin. Who promoted the Gothic architecture. He liked the Gothic architecture because the Gothic architecture always they expresses the structure, and then that structure actually shows all the flow of force in a very honest way. Unlike a Renaissance building, the Renaissance building actually come up with a geometry, and then this geometry was emphasized so that we don't know what the structure is like. And form is highly manipulated, and then it's following the norm, which is not coming from a natural, the material. So that's why the Augustus Pugin actually promoted this Gothic architecture before the Renaissance architecture. So the honesty is a very important term that the architects are always struggling with. We, in a sense, we really wanted to be honest. We architects really wanted to be honest, and then we architects, they try to create an architecture that shows, that expresses certain honesty. However, at the same time, there is an opposite opinion. Okay? This is the quotation on the left-hand side. This is a quotation from William Flusser, the book called "The Shape of a Thing: A Philosophy of Design." Okay? In English, the word design is both a noun and a verb. As a noun, it means, among other things, intention, plan, intent, aim, scheme, plot, motif, basic structure, all these, and other meanings. This is important. Okay. Being connected with cunning and then deception. Okay. As a verb, to design meanings include to concoct something, to simulate, to draft, to sketch, to fashion, to have design on something. The word derives from the Latin signum, okay, meaning a sign, and in a shared same ancient root. Thus, etymologically, design means design. So, what William Flusser is talking about is that inherently, this the term design has some kind of a notion, some kind of a notion of a cunning or deception. But of course, the term deception is not like deceiving someone, or deceiving with bad intention. But it's more related to let's say machine or technology. All these terms also has a kind of similar origin, because by for example, when we come up with a building, for example, building is against the gravity. So it's against the nature. It's kind of deceiving the nature. It's against like people look at it like a magic. See, we are standing on the floor, the fourth floor, fifth floor, which is in the middle of the air. But somehow it made it possible. So architecture or design is kind of deceiving. And then a machine. When it comes to a machine. Machine actually turns the material, natural material, into product. So the process of a machine is like a magic in a sense. The natural material turns to be something that is not existing in the nature. So in a sense, it's also a kind of deception. And then it also relates to Plato. When Plato talks about the Greek philosopher Plato talks about the arts and then the poem. He actually hates and rejects these arts and poem, saying that the arts by expression they try to deceive the people and they mesmerize the people. We don't know whether art what art express is true or not. But anyway, art has this strong expression that convinces the people without knowing whether the thing is true or not. And then at the same time, the poem has this kind of the words. Words are also they're there to deceive the people. In a sense, so all these things they relate back to a deception. And of course, architectural design is part of a deception.